world of football, not every game-changing signing comes with an astronomical price tag. While some clubs spend hundreds of millions chasing the next superstar, others have found gold in unexpected places. Signings that cost relatively little but delivered extraordinary returns. These are the players whose impact on the pitch far outweighed the money spent to acquire them. The bargains that changed the fortunes of clubs, won trophies, and cemented themselves in football history. Bargain signings are more than just about value for money. They are a testament to vision, scouting, and timing. They highlight the ability of a club to spot talent before the rest of the world notices, to bet on potential, and to recognize players who can elevate a team to new heights. In some cases, it's the difference between winning a league title or falling short. In others, it's about building a dynasty that dominates competitions for years. Take a moment to imagine this. A club spends a fraction of what their rivals do, and yet the player they sign becomes a talisman, a match winner, a player whose name is etched in history. These bargains often come from smaller leagues, overlooked youth academies, or players who have yet to prove themselves on the big stage. But when the opportunity is seized correctly, the result can be transformative. The beauty of a bargain signing isn't just in the low cost, it's in the story behind it. Perhaps it's a player discarded by another club, underestimated by pundits, or emerging quietly from a lesser-known league. These players arrive with little fanfare, but quickly demonstrate their quality, often exceeding expectations and leaving both fans and rivals in admiration. From midfield maestros dictating play, to forwards who tear defenses apart, these bargains redefine what it means to invest wisely in football. Beyond individual brilliance, bargain signings often serve as the foundation for team success. Clubs that can identify and nurture undervalued talent often punch above their weight, dominating competitions or making deep runs in European tournaments. The story of a bargain signing is as much about scouting and foresight as it is about the player's skill and determination. And let's not forget the narratives these signings create. The underdog who arrives quietly and takes the world by storm. The young prodigy who grows into a superstar under the right guidance. The overlooked veteran who revitalizes a team's midfield or defense. Each story is unique, yet they share one common thread. A club that saw potential when others didn't, and a player who seized the opportunity to shine. In this live stream, we'll explore some of the best bargain signings of the 21st century. From Premier League giants to underdog clubs making clever acquisitions, these players exemplify how talent, vision, and opportunity can combine to produce unforgettable footballing moments. Some transformed entire leagues, others became household names, and all proved that a big impact doesn't always require a big price tag. So whether you're a football fan, a manager looking for inspiration, or just someone who loves an underdog story, this countdown is for you. Get ready to witness how shrewd signings, modest fee, and extraordinary talent have shaped the modern era of football. These are the players who turned bargain transfers into historic legacies. In the summer of 2015, Leicester City made a modest transfer that would prove to be one of the most inspired moves in Premier League history. N'Golo Kanté arrived from French club Cannes for just £5.6 million, a fee that, in hindsight, looks like an absolute steal. At the time, few outside France knew much about the 24-year-old midfielder. Kanté had spent just 2 seasons at Cannes, where he showcased his incredible stamina, defensive intelligence, and ability to cover every blade of grass. His performances were efficient, understated, and highly effective, but he was still largely untested in one of Europe's toughest leagues. Leicester City, under the management of Claudio Ranieri, recognized Kanté's unique skill set. His ability to read the game, win tackles, intercept passes, and quickly transition the ball from defense to attack was almost unparalleled. For a modest fee relative to Premier League standards, they identified a player who could completely transform their midfield, adding balance, energy, and reliability. In essence, Leicester were buying far more than just a player. They were buying the engine that could drive their entire team forward. The price tag was tiny compared to the potential impact, making it one of the smartest bargain signings of the modern era. Kanté wasted no time proving his worth. In his debut season, he became the heartbeat of Leicester's midfield, covering more ground than almost any other player in the league. His energy allowed his teammates to attack with confidence, knowing Kanté would be the safety net that recovered possession and disrupted opposition attacks. His work rate was phenomenal. Kanté's ability to dominate midfield battles gave Leicester an edge in a league where every point is hard-fought. Opponents struggled to cope with his relentless pressing and ability to recycle possession, often leading to turnovers that directly resulted in goals. It quickly became clear that Leicester had discovered a hidden gem. The 2015-16 season will go down in football history as one of the greatest underdog stories ever. Leicester City defied the odds and clinched the Premier League title, a feat that no one predicted at the start of the season. Conte was central to this fairy tale, providing unmatched balance, defensive security, and relentless energy. For a player signed for just £5.6 million, the return on investment was extraordinary. Conte's ability to read the game, break up attacks, and support both defense and offense made him arguably the most vital player in Leicester's championship-winning side. His performances earned widespread acclaim, including multiple Player of the Season nods from fans and pundits alike. Conte's journey didn't end at Leicester. After just one season, he moved to Chelsea for a slightly higher fee of around £32 million, a sum that still seems modest for a player of his caliber. At Chelsea, he continued to dominate, winning another Premier League title, the FA Cup, and the UEFA Champions League. Each step of his career reinforces how Leicester's initial bargain was one of the most astute in recent football history. Conte's transfer exemplifies everything a bargain signing should be: relatively low cost, massive impact, and long-term value. For less than the price of many average Premier League players, Leicester secured a midfielder who could dominate games, inspire teammates, and become one of the best players in the world. His signing shows that money isn't always the most important factor. Vision, scouting, and insight can yield footballing gold. In 2011, Liverpool secured one of the Premier League's most remarkable bargains by signing Luis Suarez from Ajax for approximately £22.8 million. At the time, Suarez was a prolific goal scorer in the Eredivisie, but many questioned whether his talent would translate to the physicality and pace of English football. The Uruguayan forward arrived with a reputation for scoring goals in abundance, but also with a fiery temperament and a style of play that relied on creativity, movement, and intelligence in the final third. Few could have predicted that this relatively modest fee would yield one of the most lethal forwards the Premier League has ever seen. Liverpool were seeking a forward who could lead the line, create chances, and consistently find the back of the net. Suarez's record at Ajax, 111 goals in 159 appearances, demonstrated not only his finishing prowess, but also his ability to create for teammates. The club's scouting team recognized that his technical skill, creativity, and determination could transform Liverpool's attack, and the relatively low fee represented exceptional value for such a talent. Liverpool were investing not only in goals, but in a player capable of dictating attacking play. Suarez's vision, dribbling, and intelligent movement meant he could influence games beyond just scoring, making him a bargain in every sense. Suarez quickly adapted to the Premier League, producing moments of individual brilliance from the outset. His debut season highlighted his ability to read defenses, exploit spaces, and execute finishes that few other forwards could replicate. More than just a goal scorer, he became the creative fulcrum of Liverpool's attack, providing assists, linking play, and pressing relentlessly off the ball. His movement and intelligence allowed him to combine with teammates like Steven Gerrard and Daniel Sturridge, forming one of the most feared attacking trios in Premier League history. For a fee that seemed modest compared to other top forwards, Liverpool had acquired a game-changer. The 2013-14 season was the pinnacle of Suarez's impact at Liverpool. He scored 31 goals in the Premier League, provided 14 assists, and was directly involved in nearly half of Liverpool's goals that season. His combination of skill, creativity, and relentless work ethic nearly guided Liverpool to a Premier League title, finishing just 2 points behind Manchester City. For a player signed for £22.8 million, the return on investment was extraordinary. Suarez not only transformed Liverpool's attack, but also elevated the entire team's performance. He earned numerous accolades, including the PFA Player of the Year and FWA Footballer of the Year, cementing his status as one of the league's elite players. Suarez's bargain transfer laid the foundation for his next move to Barcelona, where he continued to excel alongside Lionel Messi and Neymar, forming one of the most lethal attacking trios in football history. The modest investment by Liverpool not only paid immediate dividends, but also enhanced his career trajectory, proving that intelligent scouting and insight can unearth talent that outperforms its price tag. This signing underscores a simple truth: sometimes the most valuable acquisitions aren't the most expensive, but the ones that combine talent, intelligence, and opportunity. Luis Suarez at Liverpool epitomizes the perfect bargain signing. a relatively low-cost acquisition who became the heartbeat of the team, transformed their attack and delivered performances that exceeded all expectations. The fee paid was minimal relative to the impact he had on the Premier League and on Liverpool's resurgence as a title contender. In the summer of 2011, Juventus made one of the most understated yet brilliant acquisitions in modern football by signing Andrea Pirlo on a free transfer from AC Milan. At 32, many questioned whether Pirlo, a veteran of Italian football, still had the ability to dominate matches at the highest level. But Juventus knew exactly what they were getting. A midfield maestro capable of dictating play, controlling tempo, and delivering moments of genius from set pieces. Despite leaving Milan on a free transfer, Pirlo's value was immeasurable. He brought not only unmatched technical skill, but also decades of experience, tactical intelligence, and the ability to control the rhythm of a game like few others in world football. Juventus, under Antonio Conte, were rebuilding after the Calciopoli scandal and a disappointing season. They needed a player who could bring stability, vision, and leadership to a young midfield. Pirlo, despite his age, offered all of that. His ability to deliver pinpoint passes, switch play effortlessly, and control both defensive and attacking phases made him an ideal choice for a club aiming to return to dominance. The genius of this signing was in recognizing that experience, intelligence, and positional awareness can outweigh age and market hype. Juventus weren't buying a flashy headline. They were buying a cerebral playmaker capable of transforming the team's identity on the pitch. Pirlo made an immediate impact. In his first season, he seamlessly integrated into Conte's system, controlling games from deep midfield and providing the perfect link between defense and attack. His vision allowed Juventus to dominate possession, break down stubborn defenses, and convert possession into meaningful chances. He wasn't just a passer, he was a strategist on the field, reading the game before it happened and orchestrating Juventus play with the precision of a conductor leading a symphony. For a player signed for free, the return on investment was immediately clear. Pirlo's arrival coincided with Juventus' return to domestic dominance. From 2011 to 2015, he was instrumental in securing 4 consecutive Serie A titles. His influence extended beyond just statistics. His presence brought balance, control, and a sense of calm that allowed younger teammates to thrive. Pirlo's ability to dictate tempo, deliver world-class set pieces, and create scoring opportunities elevated the entire squad. Even against top European opposition in the Champions League, Pirlo's skill and intelligence shone. His composure under pressure, accuracy in long balls, and creative vision made Juventus competitive at the highest level, proving that even a free transfer can redefine a team's fortunes. Andrea Pirlo's signing epitomizes the ultimate bargain. Juventus paid no transfer fee, yet acquired a player who would transform their midfield, lead them to multiple titles, and become one of the most influential players in the league. The signing illustrates that in football, value isn't always about money. It's about understanding a player's ability to impact games, inspire teammates, and deliver consistently at the highest level. From precise through balls to game-changing set pieces, Pirlo consistently outperformed his perceived value. For a club like Juventus, this signing was not just cost-effective, it was transformational. In 2006, European football witnessed one of the most prescient bargain signings of the 21st century. Atletico Madrid acquired a 17-year-old prodigy, Sergio Aguero, from Argentina's side Independiente for a reported fee of around €20 million. While the fee may seem substantial for a teenager, it was a modest investment considering the potential and talent that Aguero possessed, a talent that would soon take Europe by storm. Few young players arrive in Europe with the maturity, composure, and goal-scoring instinct that Aguero exhibited. Despite his youth, he had already shown incredible finishing ability, movement off the ball, and football intelligence in Argentina's Primera Division, signaling that he was ready for a bigger stage. Atletico Madrid recognized that their attack required fresh energy, creativity, and clinical finishing. By investing in a young talent like Aguero, they were betting on both immediate contribution and long-term potential. Unlike signing an established European star, this acquisition carried some risk, but also promised high rewards if Aguero adapted successfully to La Liga. Atletico scouts identified a player with exceptional speed, anticipation, and composure in front of goal. They understood that with proper integration and guidance, Aguero could become a generational striker, capable of competing with Europe's elite forwards. Aguero wasted no time proving his worth. Despite adjusting to a new country and style of play, he quickly demonstrated his predatory instincts in front of goal. His ability to find space in the box, make intelligent runs behind defenses, and finish clinically made him one of La Liga's most exciting young talents almost immediately. Beyond goals, his movement and work rate helped Atletico's overall attacking strategy. Opponents struggled to contain his intelligent runs, quick feet, and sharp instincts, which allowed the team to create more scoring opportunities than ever before. Over the next few seasons, Agüero developed into one of Europe's most lethal strikers. He consistently scored goals at an astonishing rate, helping Atletico compete at the highest level domestically and in Europe. By the time he departed for Manchester City in 2011, he had scored over 100 goals for Atletico, establishing himself as one of La Liga's most formidable forwards. For a teenager bought for €20 million, the return on investment was extraordinary. Agüero not only delivered on the pitch, but also increased his market value exponentially, proving that Atletico had secured a generational talent at a bargain price. Agüero's move to Manchester City for a much higher fee in 2011 highlighted just how valuable this signing was for Atletico Madrid. His time in Spain had prepared him for the Premier League, where he became an icon, scoring record-breaking goals and winning numerous titles, including the unforgettable 2011-2012 Premier League title with a last-minute goal that clinched the championship. The initial investment in Agüero not only paid immediate dividends for Atletico Madrid but also provided the foundation for his legendary career, demonstrating how a calculated risk on a young talent can yield both sporting success and financial reward. Sergio Agüero's transfer from Independiente to Atletico Madrid is the textbook definition of a bargain signing. The club invested relatively little for a teenager who became a world-class striker, a team leader, and one of the most consistent goal scorers in Europe. His signing underscores the importance of vision, scouting, and the willingness to take calculated risks on young talent. Agüero's combination of technique, intelligence, and composure proved that, sometimes, the best signings aren't the most expensive. They're the ones that deliver exceptional value both on and off the pitch. In January 2014, Leicester City made one of the shrewdest bargain signings of the 21st century by acquiring Riyad Mahrez from French side Le Havre for a reported fee of around £450,000. Few could have predicted that this relatively unknown Algerian winger would go on to play a pivotal role in one of the greatest stories in Premier League history. At the time, Mahrez was a talented young player with flashes of brilliance in League Two, but moving to the Premier League was a massive step up. Leicester City, however, saw beyond the numbers. They recognized the potential, technical skill, and creativity that Mahrez could bring to a team in need of attacking flair. Leicester City needed a winger who could unlock defenses, deliver accurate crosses, and score goals from wide positions. Mahrez, with his silky dribbling, ability to cut inside, and precise left foot, fit the profile perfectly. For a mere £450,000, Leicester were essentially taking a low-risk gamble on raw talent that had yet to prove itself at the highest level. The brilliance of this signing was in its simplicity. Acquire a technically gifted, hungry young player at a low cost and provide him with the platform to thrive. Mahrez had all the attributes needed to succeed in the Premier League: vision, composure, and the ability to change games with a single touch. Mahrez wasted no time making an impression. His first season saw flashes of his creativity and technical ability, giving Leicester a new dimension in attack. He was able to take on defenders, cut inside from the right wing, and score goals with precision, quickly becoming a fan favorite. Even in a team fighting to stabilize in the Premier League, Mahrez's individual brilliance was apparent. He possessed the vision to create chances, the composure to finish clinically, and the intelligence to exploit spaces in opposition defenses, qualities that would soon make him indispensable. The 2015-16 season is one of the most unforgettable stories in football history, and Mahrez was at the heart of it. Leicester City defied 5,000-1 odds to win the Premier League, and Mahrez's performances were central to that miraculous achievement. He scored 17 league goals, provided 11 assists, and was directly involved in countless decisive moments. His creativity and composure allowed Leicester to attack fluidly, while his ability to cut inside and score from distance made him a constant threat. Mahrez's performances earned him the PFA Player of the Year award, a remarkable achievement for a player bought for under £500,000. Mahrez's bargain transfer not only changed Leicester's fortunes, but also paved the way for his move to Manchester City, where he continued to excel at the highest level. He won multiple Premier League titles, domestic cups, and contributed significantly in European competitions, proving that his talent was world-class. The initial £450,000 investment by Leicester City yielded extraordinary returns, both on the pitch and financially. Mahrez became a symbol of intelligent scouting and risk-taking, demonstrating how a relatively unknown player can transform a team and create footballing history. Riyad Mahrez exemplifies the perfect bargain signing: low cost, high impact, and transformational. Leicester City acquired a player who would not only help them achieve an unprecedented Premier League title, but also grow into one of the most technically gifted wingers in world football. For less than the price of many mid-tier Premier League players, they secured a talent that delivered remarkable value. Mahrez's story is a reminder that scouting, vision, and the courage to back emerging talent can yield extraordinary rewards, far beyond the initial cost. In 2008, Barcelona made one of the most understated yet brilliant moves in modern football by promoting Sergio Busquets from their B team to the first team. Unlike a high-profile transfer, this was a homegrown talent rising through the ranks, a promotion that would redefine Barcelona's midfield for years to come. At just 20 years old, Busquets was tasked with filling the defensive midfield role left by the legendary Edgar Davids and complementing the iconic Xavi Hernandez and Andres Iniesta. Few could have predicted the profound impact this quiet, intelligent midfielder would have on one of the greatest football teams in history. Barcelona needed a player who could shield the defense, recover possession efficiently, and maintain the rhythm of possession-based football. Busquets offered all of this and more. Despite his youth and relative inexperience at the top level, his positional intelligence, calmness on the ball, and reading of the game made him the perfect fit for Pep Guardiola's tactical philosophy. The genius of this promotion was recognizing that sometimes the greatest signings aren't made in the transfer market. They're nurtured from within. Busquets had the skill set to control games, dictate tempo, and allow Barcelona's attacking maestros to flourish, all while being virtually unknown outside Spain. From his first appearances, Busquets demonstrated a maturity beyond his years. His ability to read the game, intercept dangerous passes, and make simple yet precise passes allowed Barcelona to dominate possession and control matches in a way few teams could. Unlike flashy wingers or forwards, Busquets' influence was subtle but absolutely critical. He was the link between defense and attack, the quiet engine that powered one of the most dominant teams in football history. For a player promoted from the B team rather than bought for millions, the return on investment, in terms of performance, consistency, and trophies, was extraordinary. Over the next several seasons, Busquets became indispensable to Barcelona's system. He played a pivotal role in multiple La Liga titles, UEFA Champions League triumphs, and domestic cup victories. His defensive discipline allowed Xavi and Iniesta to operate with freedom, while his tactical awareness ensured Barcelona's possession-based style remained impervious to pressing opponents. Even in high-stakes matches against Europe's elite clubs, his presence was critical. He provided balance, maintained team shape, and dictated the pace, earning him recognition as one of the world's best defensive midfielders, all while remaining understated and unflashy, a true master of the art of subtle influence. Busquets' promotion from Barcelona B exemplifies the ultimate bargain. For zero transfer fee, Barcelona acquired a player who would become a cornerstone of their golden era, winning multiple Champions League and La Liga titles and helping Spain dominate international football, including the 2010 FIFA World Cup and 2008 and 2012 European Championships. The signing, or rather promotion, demonstrates that exceptional scouting, youth development, and tactical insight can yield players whose impact far exceeds their cost. Busquets remains a model of intelligence, consistency, and efficiency in football, proving that sometimes the best bargains come from within. Sergio Busquets is the epitome of a bargain in football terms. Barcelona invested in nurturing their own talent rather than paying for a marquee signing, and the results speak for themselves. One of the most influential midfielders of the modern era, Busquets provided unparalleled value for essentially no transfer fee, showing that sometimes the most impactful acquisitions are homegrown. In the summer of 2008, Tottenham Hotspur made one of the most astute signings in Premier League history by acquiring Luka Modric from Croatian champions Dinamo Zagreb for around £16.5 million. At the time, Modric was highly regarded in Europe, but few could have predicted just how transformative he would be for Tottenham's midfield and eventually for world football. Modric arrived as a technically gifted central midfielder with exceptional vision, passing range, and ball control. While he was already a standout in the Croatian league, the Premier League presented a new challenge. Higher tempo, more physical play, and greater tactical complexity. Tottenham scouts recognized that Modric had the intelligence and adaptability to thrive in England, and they were right. Tottenham needed a player capable of dictating play, linking defense to attack, and providing composure in high-pressure situations. Modric offered all of this. Despite his relatively modest transfer fee compared to other European midfielders, he brought experience in European competitions and a rare ability to control the tempo of a match with precision and foresight. The signing was a masterstroke of scouting and vision. Spurs identified a player who could elevate the entire team, balancing defensive responsibilities with creative brilliance, all while maintaining consistency across 90 minutes. From his very first season, Modric demonstrated why he was a cut above most midfielders in the Premier League. His ability to receive the ball under pressure, evade pressing opponents, and deliver incisive passes allowed Tottenham to control games more effectively than ever before. He was not just a creator but also a stabilizer, capable of dictating the pace of the match, recycling possession, and maintaining balance in a midfield that previously lacked control. For a fee that was modest by Premier League standards, Spurs had acquired a transformative talent. Over the next few seasons, Modric became the heartbeat of Tottenham's midfield. He provided key assists, scored crucial goals, and helped Spurs challenge for Champions League qualification. His vision, intelligence, and composure under pressure made him one of the most consistent and influential players in the league. Even against top Premier League sides, Modric's presence was undeniable. He could control the tempo, unlock defenses with a single pass, and guide younger teammates through high-pressure situations. For Tottenham, his contribution far exceeded his relatively modest transfer fee. Modric's performances at Tottenham earned him a high-profile move to Real Madrid in 2012, where he would cement his place among the world's best midfielders. Winning multiple UEFA Champions League titles and the Ballon d'Or, Modric's journey highlights how Tottenham's investment of £16.5 million was a bargain not just for Spurs, but in terms of footballing legacy. This signing exemplifies how strategic transfers can identify talent that exceeds expectations, delivers immediate results, and eventually reaches world-class status, all from a relatively modest initial investment. Luka Modric is the quintessential bargain signing. For a fraction of the cost of Europe's other elite midfielders at the time, Tottenham acquired a player who transformed their midfield, contributed to record-breaking performances, and laid the foundation for his eventual rise to global stardom. The deal demonstrates that a combination of vision, scouting, and understanding a player's potential can yield extraordinary returns, far exceeding the initial outlay. While we've covered the top 7 bargain signings of the 21st century, football history is full of other remarkable deals that transformed clubs without breaking the bank. These are the unsung transfers, the players whose impact might not have grabbed headlines immediately, but whose performances delivered extraordinary value for their clubs. Take Jamie Vardy, for example. Signed from non-league Stocksbridge Park Steels and later Fleetwood Town, Vardy arrived at Leicester City for a modest fee. Fast forward a few years and he became a Premier League champion, breaking records for consecutive matches scored in and cementing himself as one of England's most prolific forwards. Romelu Lukaku's move from Anderlecht to Chelsea is another example of smart scouting. While he eventually moved on for more, his early performances in England demonstrated the potential value of signing young, talented strikers for a reasonable fee. Virgil van Dijk's transfer to Southampton from Celtic for a modest fee turned out to be one of the best defensive bargains of the decade. His composure, aerial dominance, and leadership transformed Southampton's defense and later made him a record-breaking signing for Liverpool. From Sergio Busquets quietly rising through Barcelona's ranks to Luka Modric transforming Tottenham's midfield and Riyad Mahrez turning Leicester City into Premier League champions, the 21st century has given us some of football's smartest signings. These players prove that sometimes, the biggest impact comes not from the priciest transfers, but from the ones where vision, scouting, and belief meet opportunity. We've seen how Angel Di Maria, Kaká, João Felix, and other notable transfers made headlines with massive fee. Yet these bargain signings consistently demonstrate that football brilliance isn't measured by price tags but by influence, performance, and the ability to transform a team. What unites all these players is more than talent. It's intelligence, consistency, and timing. Clubs that identify these qualities, whether in young prospects or undervalued talents, often reap the greatest rewards. From Premier League heroes to Champions League icons, bargain signings remind us that vision and scouting can turn potential into history. The beautiful game has always been about surprises, and there's nothing more satisfying than witnessing a relatively inexpensive player rise to greatness. It's proof that careful planning, trust in talent, and smart investment can redefine a club's destiny. Now we want to hear from you. Which bargain signing do you think had the biggest impact in the 21st century? Did Sergio Busquets' quiet genius, Luka Modric's midfield mastery, or Riyad Mahrez's fairy tale rise capture your imagination the most? Or perhaps a player we highlighted in our honorable mentions left a mark that can't be ignored? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss another deep dive into football history, legends, and the stories behind the beautiful game. Thank you for joining us on this journey through some of the best bargain signings of the 21st century. Until next time, keep celebrating the game and never underestimate the power of a smart transfer.